And now I have, you know, uh, opened this platform where I can educate people, give knowledge to the people regarding the most demanded technology, especially in the data analytics, business intelligence, in a data scientist profile, because these are the, you know, technologies, these are the profiles which have a huge market demand. So let's talk about why TechTip24. So the basic motive behind to for this platform is growth oriented courses. Here I will introduce a courses which is related to the growth oriented only, which have a worldwide market. Worldwide market in the sense, like not only in India, if you want to work outside from the India as well, in all over the world, the courses which provided by TechTip24 is have a worldwide market. That's the first thing. Second, if you will take the sessions, the session replays will be provided to you. Then the sessions will be totally interactive. Most of the people took my sessions, and like they know, in my sessions you can unmute yourself, you can solve your doubts, you can say me that Aditi, these are the technical issues I'm facing, these are the problems I'm facing with the data or representation or anything. So the sessions will be interactive. Then fourth very important thing is practical approach. If Dr. DP Sharma will run any code, then you have to execute the code from your end as well. That's why I have, you know, sent the link to download Anaconda, not twice, not thrice, in all of my, you know, previous mails, so that you can download and implement all the things, all the learning practically. Then you get a support, and most of the people, most of the participants, you know, sent chats or messages via WhatsApp as well. I have responded most of you regarding Python workshop, regarding about our organizations and all. So you have my WhatsApp number. You can directly in contact with me, and then we'll also support live consultancy in here. So what are the courses we are into? We have provided the data science using R. As I have already told you, the sessions and the TechTip24 are mostly into data scientist, data analyst, business intelligence sort of profiles. Or if you want to build your career, want hike in your job, change your job, or if you want to move into the field which have a worldwide market, move into the field which in which you can also work as a freelancer, in the field which, you know, in which you can work for yourself. So first of all, we have data science using R, then we have data science using Python, and this is the thing which you are going to learn in throughout the sessions. Then we have SQL, working with multiple tables. In SQL, I have taught my learners about how we can, you know, work with multiple tables, because it's very important to understand what's actually a market demand and what you are learning in a theoretical prospect. Fine. So here, the full approach will be the practical. Now we have data analytics or business intelligence using Tableau. For all of these softwares, you can search on the Google as well, their market demands, their opportunities, their job salaries, and what are the, you know, more career opportunities, and what are the worldwide scopes for you in all of the tools and technologies that I'm going to discuss with you right now. So we have data analytics, BI, and using Tableau. Then we have data analytics and BI using Tableau, or we can say Power BI. So there's a mistake in here. Then we have advanced analytics full course. In this, you have to choose between R and Python. Then you will learn about my SQL, Tableau, and Power BI. So what I'm going to, what I want to convey message to all of you is that these are the tools which we are into. Fine. These are the tools which have a huge market demands. You can search from your end. There will be no issues. And Power BI is a tool which is by Microsoft, and have a vast career opportunities. Why is it so? Because through these all tools, you can work on the data. And guys, data is the new oil. Through data, you can generate insights, you can generate revenues for your business or for the organizations you are working in. So these are the tools, as you can say. Now, the most important thing is, just give me a minute. Let's talk about now why Python. Yeah, most of the people have this question in here, why Python? And you are in this live session, you are investing your time. That means a lot to me, first of all. And second, why you want to learn Python? First of all, Python is the language which, bring vast career opportunities for you. You can be a data scientist or data analyst. You can, make your career into machine learning and deep learning. And you know that what other career opportunities we have in machine learning and deep learning, as well as in artificial intelligence. Then, if you don't want to dig into scientist or data analyst, then you can also, with the help of Python, develop apps, web apps, or if you want to, make your own game, so you can be into game development as well, because it's also a very high market. Then Python is preferred to use very short code and clean code, as you know in here, and you can also work as a software engineer. So Python is not only for limited to data scientist or analyst in here. These are the vast number of opportunities in terms of Python, as you can see in here. Then, after learning Python, as I have already told you, you can work as a freelancer, you can work for you, you can hire a project and work as per your flexibility and have a worldwide market. If you're not having the projects from India, you can take the projects from US and most of the countries are there as well. Then, as I've already told you, it have a vast career opportunities. So this is all about Python, and that's why you need to learn Python. And as you can say that Python is not only a language, it just the 360-degree approach to do anything in your life. Fine, if you will take this session seriously, these sessions for the first 6 days, as you know, it's free, but we have invested a lot. We have invested a time in your learning. I have hired Dr. DP Sharma to give you the knowledge, practical learning regarding Python. So we have a whole motive behind it, which is related to your learning, your career growth. So what I want is, I am not charging for the first 6 days, but I want the dedicated learning from your end. At the end, you can interact, you can ask the valid questions to the trainer so that you'll clear your doubts live only. So I want only one investment, which is your time. And what I think this is a very important and the huge investment. Then what we have is, which is very important, what you know versus what industry wants. All of you know that there's a huge difference between in our education system and practical knowledge and what industry want and what market wants. So we're going to reduce this gap. We're going to learn actually what is demanded in the market. So there is a huge gap. We'll try to decrease it, and this is only possible with your support. This is only possible when you will take advantage for whole of this workshop. Then what we have is, if you learn Python, so as you can see, these are all the industries, these are all the big companies, MNCs hire Python developers, and they are only 2%. If you'll explore from your end as well, and I hope that you have explored already, that's the reason behind why you are in this session, right? So just learn, keep learning, keep growing, and implement it practically in your real life. Fine. I, seriously think that if you'll not implement it practically, that's why I have already, I have almost say in all of my sessions that take sessions from phone and start implementing with the trainer in your laptop, or just divide the screen into two different equal parts, where one of the in one of the screen the trainer will execute the code, and in another screen you will execute the code practically. So I have always I want my students to took this initiative to implement all the things practically, because people theoretical knowledge, just say no to theoretical knowledge and start implementing everything practically in real world. So these are the companies, very few companies, which I want, or you see, like, these are the basic MNCs companies which hire Python developers for your clear mindset. Then we have the learners from all over the world. As of now, I am into giving live sessions on data analytics and business intelligence. And in my sessions, and throughout my sessions, these are the some of the learners we have from all over the world. So these are some of the testimonials I want to show you. This is the Sharon from New Zealand, and we have Devesh, Neeraj, Manik, and Shubham, and more than all. So I have just put on 2 3 testimonials for you, so that you will see that you can one of them. You have to learn and then implement, and then I'll give you guarantee that you will open a vast career opportunities for you. So that's all about me. That's all about tech tip. That's all about Python. Why you need to learn Python. After learning, what other more career opportunities will open for you. And these are some of the testimonials. Now, let's start with the practical learning. So I have already sent the link to all of you to download Anaconda, so that you will implement all the code practically. So we have two options. Either you can use Anaconda, or you can use Google Colab for the same. For Google Colab, you need internet connection in your system. And for Anaconda, you need to install it. And in the Jupyter notebook, you will learn, or you will implement all the Python code. And you can discuss all your doubts with the Dr. DP Sharma in here. Okay, so let me clear one more thing in here. So as you can see, this is our official website. If you want to see the curriculum of the Python as well, you can go to the live sessions of techtip24.com. And here we have, data science using Python. And if you want to see the course curriculum related to other courses as well, you can see from here. So this is the data science using Python. If you'll click on it, click on the learn more in here, you will see the course details. You will see the curriculum, like what are the things you're going to learn in throughout the session. Because as per me, the clear mindset before learning anything, it's very important. So this is the Python using data science, Python for data science, which we are going to cover data structures, functions, oops, numpy, pandas, statistics, visualizations, and all in throughout the Python sessions. Okay, and in Python workshop, we're going to discuss few of the topics in here to clear your mind regarding the Python if you have any doubts in here. Okay, so first of all, in your screen, you will see one question in here, which is, have you guys installed Anaconda already or not? So I am launching this pool. Yeah. So just uh, take yes or no, so that I have a brief idea regarding you have installed Python or not. So yeah, guys, fast. We have more than 100 people are here. So okay, so let me show you the results. So as you can see, we have 80% people are here already installed Anaconda, great. And 20 people are still didn't install it. No worries, you can install it now, and then you can implement all the things practically. So let me again show you how you can do that. First of all, write down Anaconda in here. You can use any of the browser. Go to the first link individual edition of Anaconda. And here you can see your data science toolkit. And if you will, scroll a bit, you'll see which is 64-bit graphical installer. You'll, as per your system configuration, install Windows, which is 64-bit or 32-bit. Okay, if you'll click on it, already automatically Anaconda installation start in your system. Okay. First of all, downloading will start, and then after clicking on that downloading button, you'll just install it in your respective systems. Now, what you can use rather than Anaconda is you can use Google Colab. Like just write Google Colab in the Chrome, and then just click on this first link, which is Google Colab in here. And for this, you need to have a Gmail account. This is the mandatory stuff in here. So as you can see, we have Google Colab. You'll see a window like this, and you can use or you can make your new workbook in here, new notebook as per your convenience. And then I have already opened one book in here. So you can use Google Colab as well, and then you can use like Anaconda software for the Python programming. That's all I need to share with you all, guys. And one more question I have for all of you. Just give me a minute. So what I want from your end is why Python? Why you want to learn Python for become a data scientist? What's the, I just want to know that what's your vision behind it for data analyst, data scientist, for developer. And in developer, you have for a web developer, games developer, app developer, or you have any other intention behind it. So just let me have a brief idea. What's your motto behind learning Python? So yeah, I will share according to all of you. No worries. Kunal is saying while installing, it gives option for just me or all users. What you're installing in here in Anaconda, it will automatically start download in your system. So let me add pool as of now. And I am sharing the results with you all. So as you can see, 49% wants to learn Python for machine learning, data deep learning, and to become a data scientist. Then 36% are here to become a data analyst, 8% are for developer, and 8% have any other intentions behind it. No worries. Let me stop share the results. So these are only the two questions I want to ask. Now, let me do one thing. Yeah. So just write yes in the chat box. Is everything clear till now? And then I'll hand over uh, to Dr. DP Sharma, and he will share his screen and tell you more about Python programming and all the practical approach. Great. So, Dr. DP Sharma, you can unmute yourself. You can share your screen, and I just want to hand over to you now. You can continue. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Yes. Hi, Aditi. Thank you for your comments, starting comments,
Oh,
and I welcome all the participants once again. So let me introduce myself. I have nearly 20 years of training, teaching, consultancy experience, and out of those 20 years of experience, I worked in top-notch companies as well as some top-notch institutions of India. And currently I am associated with one of the university. At the same time, I also do freelancing corporate training, and I used to give corporate trainings to like people like from Infosys, MetLife, SDFC banks. So many more are there. So hope
sir, just have a minute, and I just want all the participants write yes in the chat box if DP Sharma's voice is audible for all of you in here. So you can just write in the chat box. Yes, it's clear, or you want him to speak more loudly, just let me know that. Okay, clear. Great, great, guys. Fine.
Aditi, I think
Because,
you have still not given that sharing permission.
okay, okay, just give me a minute. Yeah. Now you have the sharing permission. Please share your screen and continue with the session. Hand over to
Yes,
you. Thank
yes,
you.
yes. So, guys, can you quickly confirm my screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. So, guys, what I will do now, I will take you through this maybe next 1 hour, and I will introduce you why Python, what are other alternatives as well, and at the same time I start teaching Python programming with giving a one motivational that slide I do have. There I want to showcase that learning any programming language, not only Python, any programming language, just like learning a English language. So let's just start the session. So let me, yes, so now this slide is full mode slide. So the first slide is what is language. So obviously language is a mode of communication. Let's say we want to communicate, let's say one of friend, then we may communicate in Hindi, we may communicate in English, maybe we may communicate in French also. It's depend upon that the two parties that are involved in a communication, in which language they want to communicate with each other. So in the same way, programming language is not different from natural language. Here, the objective is we want to communicate our ideas to the computer, and computer once understand our idea, computer do the task as per our instruction. So this is the objective of learning a programming language. We want to do some task, and computer will do that task. And obviously, computer can understand only when we communicate the instruction in a language that is understandable to the computer as well. So this is language. Now, this is a motivational slide I just talked about. So here I want to showcase you this learning a Python programming language, maybe R, maybe any programming language. You can, that compare easily with the step of learning English language. So you can see here, when we were kid, we used to, learn, when we want to learn English language, we first used to learn alphabets. In the same way, the analogy over here is what? In case of, let me just take my pen over here also. So here you can see over here, if you want to learn any programming language, it's just like a natural language only. Here we have to learn what are the alphabets that are allowed in Python programming language, what are the digits that are allowed. So this is something like that. Let's say someone wants to learn Hindi, then the alphabets are different. Someone wants to learn English, that the alphabets are different. Same goes over here. Someone wants to learn Python, there is different alphabets. Someone wants to learn any other programming language, there might be a chance of similar alphabets, maybe different alphabets. So this is the step number one. Then the second step is what? Just let me, second step is combining those alphabets and forming a words. So when we combine the alphabets and try to form a words, there are two types of words generally we can categorize. One, those having a dictionary meaning. When we combine those alphabets and we try to form a word, one category of words, they having an English dictionary meaning. For example, cat. In the same way, let's say, other category of alphabets when we combine and forming a word, that is, let's say, DP Sharma. So DP Sharma is a word, but not having any dictionary meaning. But we are using to identify some objects. Let's say people are identifying me by this name. So this is over here in case of natural language like English language. But in case of programming language, again, the same analogy can be given here. So this variable thing is equivalent to this naming convention. We are going to give some name to some objects so that we can identify those objects. And this keywords corresponding to this English dictionary words. So keywords here is what? There's a when we try to form a words inside of Python. So what will happen? That the keywords going to have a fixed dictionary meaning. These type of words going to have fixed dictionary meaning inside Python dictionary. The way we used to have words in case of English dictionary, that for example cat, here also some words are there. For example, if, else. So these are some fixed words that are predefined. These uses are predefined. We can't use for other purposes. So this is keywords analogy you can see over here. Now let me take you the third step. Once we learn how to form a words, then we can combine those words to form a, we can combine those words, just a minute, friends. Yes. So we can combine those words and we can form a sentences in case of English. In the same way, when we combine those constant, variable, keywords, all those things, then we can form a programming instruction. So you can see a step-by-step analogy. And then finally, once we learn the sentences, we try to form the paragraphs by combining those sentences. In the same way, by combining the instructions, we can learn the program, Python programs. So this is analogy that I want to give it to you. Now let me take you the next slide. So Python, obviously the name derived by Monty Python Flying Circus. There was a famous cartoon show was there that time. So the Monty was the name of the developer. That guy has given the name Python. And Python not only used for data science and machine learning, it can also be used, as Aditi already conveyed all those things. It can be used in variety of like let's say you want to develop any app, any desktop application, any that network programming type stuff. All those things you can do over here. So this is introduction to Python slides. Now next, let me take you the next slide. So question is, why Python? Why not other language? So I'm going to give two slides that for answering this question. So first slide basically is showing to you. For example, let's say your objective is to print hello world. So when let's say you are using C programming, so at least this is a code of Java programming. At least 7 lines of code you have to write. This is 7 lines of code, and in fact, I am still not writing the complete code of Python here. Public static void when the full the statement will be more than that. I have written in short form. So 7 lines of code you have to write over here. Same code if you want to write in C programming. In that case, you have to write 5 lines of code. So see, now the same objective you want to achieve through Python programming, just single line of code. So here objective is what the same task. Let's say when you are writing through Java program, you have to write 7 lines of code. In case of C, 5 lines of code. And in case of Python, one line of code. So Python is providing a concise, that programming things. Short program can do the same, can achieve the same objective. The way basically you are writing a long program in case of Java or C programming. So this is the one thing that Python provides, the concise things. So this is the industry requirement nowadays. That some programming language, something should be selected in that way. It provides concise things. This is the one objective. And second, I am going to take you towards this. Not only this, let me take you one more thing over here in the slide itself. If you see, let's say we have to print something over here. We are writing here system.out.println. So have you thought about in a daily-to-day life situation, system.out.println, or maybe this is printf. Some mistake over here in the slide. This is printf in case of C programming. But in case of the daily-to-day life situation, when we ask to print something, we used to say to our friends, "Can you print something for us?" So this syntax is similar, looks like to the English syntax. So guys, I want to tell you, when you are going to read the Python program, you will feel like that you are reading an English literature only. Syntax are very easy to write the code in case of Python, rather than when you compare with the Java or C, where syntax are little bit difficult. So because of it provides simple syntax, it provides concise mode of writing. Python is much more popular as compared to any other programming language available in the market. So now let me take you. So this is a one motivating thing. That's why Python is popular. And not only this, now I'm going to take you towards next slide. And this slide is showing, that regarding job aspect as well. See, that demand of any programming language depends upon how many users of that programming language are there in the market. So in this slide, I am trying to show you that all top-notch companies nowadays are using Python. For example, YouTube, all we know that YouTube is that video searching library things. So all those stuffs libraries written in Python. We all know the Google web search engine. Nowadays all the advanced libraries written in Python. Dropbox, that's cloud services things. all the library of Dropbox is written over here in Python. Raspberry Pi nowadays, you know that smart home appliances all are coming. So Raspberry Pi is a hardware kit, and obviously you can have easy interface with the help of Python programming. You can create home smart home appliances using Raspberry Pi board. Now, in case of BitTorrent, all we know the torrent sites. Again, all the library written in Python. So this slide is showing to you guys almost all top-notch companies nowadays are using Python, Python, Python. So obviously, when they are working in Python, they require a large number of people. They know about Python programming. That's why there is a huge market, huge chance of getting job if you know Python programming. So this is a good starting point to learn Python programming. So now I'm going to take you towards the next slide. So guys, when you talk about Python programming and when you go to the page of Python, you might going to see two flavor of Python, Python 2.7 and Python 3 plus. Currently is running 3.8. Recently, just 2 months back, the new update has came over here. So now guys, 2.7 almost outdated from the industry. Python officially also announced that I think they stopped supporting Python 2.7. Any issue is there. So now almost all the industry has slowly but has moved to Python 3. So in this course, we are going to cover all those stuff related to Python 3. So guys, these are some installation slides. So if you want to install Python, just go to the python.org. This is another platform that you can install, and then you can just download this all those things over here and install. Click, it will automatically install. Nowadays, installing anything is very easy. Very user friendly systems are there. Now take you to so another option that Aditi already conveyed to us. In fact, there is one more option, PyCharm we can install. So for PyCharm, again, there is a two type of that versions are available. One is community, one is professional. Community are free one software. Okay. Now, Aditi already conveyed to you Python IDE, that one more popular IDE for data science purposes, that is Anaconda. So Aditi has already covered all those things. And if I'm not wrong, one guy was asking whether we just select just me or for anyone. So I suggest you guys, this is, let's say if your system having a more than 2 users account, if both user having a admin rights, in that case, you can use anyone. Otherwise, you just select just me. So I think now idea will be clear to all of you guys. So let me take you towards the next slide. Just a minute. Yes. So guys, from now onwards, I am going to start the stuff something like related to programming. So now you are going to see real code, how you can write the Python programming code over here. So guys, in fact, let me take you the pen over here. So first, I want to emphasize one statement, that is assignment statement. So please make a note over here, assignment statement. Assignment statement going to use this operator, equal to operator. So when you are saying x is equal to 5, guys, when you are saying x is equal to 5, so here I basically going to distinguish in that way. This is called left hand side of this equation, and this is called right hand side of this equation. So this whole, I am saying assignment statement. In this assignment statement, I am breaking this into 3 parts: left hand side, right hand side, and this is assignment operator. Assignment operator. So now guys, in right hand side, either you are going to see some value, like here you can see right now 5, or maybe some expression, or maybe you can see some expression that ultimately going to return a value over here. So right hand side always going to have a direct value or indirect value. Indirect value in a sense, you are going to see some expression and then finally it will return to value. So this is right hand side. In left hand side, you are always going to have some variable. And this is operator. So what you are essentially saying over here, you want to assign this value 5 to this variable x. Now the question is, how we are going to name this variable? Why x? Why not 1x? Why not x1? Why not x, y, z? So there are certain rules are there, guys. So with the help of those rules, we can that name the variables. So guys, for example, these are some rules. First of all, variable. I'm once again reiterating, variable going to come at the left hand side, and expression or value will come to the right hand side. So variable will come over here. So variable name has certain rules. For example, first of all, you can have any length variable. For example, in case of mine, DP Sharma name, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. So what happens, guys? In some of the programming language, there are restrictions. You cannot have more than 32 characters name. But here in Python, they are saying infinite characters are possible. Okay, so this is rule number 1. Rule number 2, let me take you. Rule number 2 is what? Variable cannot start with a digit. For example, you are saying, for example, if you are saying like this, 1x, and guys, I will show you all those by running the code. In fact, let me take you towards the code. So better to you are going to understand things over there. So let me take you towards the code. So let me just. So guys, can you quickly confirm? Can you quickly confirm that I have changed the
Yes,
uh,
yes, sir, we
screen
can
now?
see.
Yes. So now I'm going, guys. Once you install the Jupyter notebook, okay. So in fact, Aditi, should I go from the start? How they know that start the Anaconda?
Yes, yes. You can tell the installation. They all people have installed Anaconda, but they need to know that how they can start with the Jupyter and with
Yes,
the
yes.
code.
So guys, you just go to the start prompt over here, and here just type Anaconda. In fact, if you type Ana, it's sufficient, more than sufficient. And here basically you can see over here Anaconda Navigator. If you click over here, if you click over here, uh, so first time it will take a little bit time because it's a heavy software. It will take a little bit time, and after a few seconds, few minutes, you will see some sort of green circular circle type things effect over here. So let me minimize my slide over here. So you can see over here, you will going to see this green circle type effect over here. And since the software is really heavy software, it will take some time to know that. So let me just wait for 1 minute. It is loading. So once it get load, it will give lot of options. In fact, here itself we are going to see two options. In fact, three options. One is Jupyter Notebook, another is Jupyter Lab, third is Spider. And guys, one more coincident over here. If you talk about Python programming language, you will see a lot of snake family type terms. Python, one type of snake. Anaconda, another type of snake. Spider is another type of snake. So a lot of snake family over here. So guys, you can see over here, Jupyter Lab. Here we can also work over here. This is Jupyter Notebook. Currently, I suggest you just work with this as an initial level. Later on, we can work on a different editor also. Editor means where we will write our Python code. So just here we have to click on launch. When you launch over here, you will see the screen like this that I was showing to you. You will see a screen like this. So here, what you have to do, just go to the new. First time when you came over here, just go to the new. And here you have to select which programming language you want to code. You have to write a program in which language you want to write. So for example, that in case of Jupyter Notebook currently is supporting more than 40 languages. So we have to install different languages. By default, Jupyter is supporting Python 3, right? And R I have installed separately, but things will come over here. Let's say if there are 40 language, all 40 will come over here. Now I have to select the Python because we want to run Python, that code in Python programming language. So let me click over here. So once I click over here, what will happen? It will open a new Jupyter Notebook. So notebook look like this. So here what we have to do over here, just by default, this will give untitled 1, 2, 3, depending on the sequence. So let me change this, the name of this Jupyter Notebook. So I'm repeating once again, guys. First time when you enter this, you will going to see the screen like this. So now first you can see untitled over here. We can change the name over here, just clicking over here. So let me write, let's say first session. First session, whatever name you want to feel like, you can give it over here. So once you rename it, it will give first session. And guys, when you going to see inside drive over here, the name will be like this: first underscore session, and then the extension will be IPYNV. So I means interactive Python notebook. PY means Python, NV means notebook. So why we are saying notebook, all those things I will clear in a moment. So guys, by default, you can see over here, when you open, rename all those things. Now just come to this. This is called cell.
Sir, let's wait for 2 minutes, and please write yes in the chat box if all of you have opened the Jupyter Notebook successfully. If you guys facing any issues, just let me know. Quick yes in the chat box if you guys able to open Jupyter Notebook, because what I want is you have to implement all the code practically with Dr. TP Sharma. So that will implement learning in the live session only. Opened. So it's highly suggested, write all the code with the sir and clear your doubts here only. Yeah, if you are using Google Colab as well, no worries. If you're using any software, no worries. Great, thank you so much. Yes sir, please continue.
Okay. So by default, where we going to write a code, and obviously at the beginner level, it is always suggested to write a code line by line. So ideally, it's better if we write one line of code in one cell. Otherwise, if we want, we can write 10 lines of code, no issue at all. So guys, this is called cell, where we will supposed to write our code. And not only this, within this cell, there are different category. So in order to understand what are the different category, we have to go over this side. We will click over here. You will click over here. Let me take you once again. So we will click over here. So you can see over here, there are 4 options. Code, there are 4 options: code, markdown, raw, and heading. So guys, for this course purpose only, what we will do, basically we will going to use either code or markdown. So guys, I told you now, this first session dot IPYNV. So why we are saying interactive Python notebook? The reason is very simple. Here code cell means you supposed to write Python instructions over here, and markdown here basically here means what you can write HTML code also. Whatever code you supposed to write for web page designing, same code you can write over here. So for example, let's say sometime your requirement is what you want to write 2 or 3 lines as a comment over here. So you can use markdown. You can make that cell as a markdown, and when you execute this, there will be no error. But of course, when you are selecting a code cell, and this is cell is selected because you can see over a blue line over here, and currently the nature is code. Code means the cell is code. Here you supposed to write Python code, guys. Okay, so this is for Python code. Let me now change into this markdown code. So see over here behavior. Currently you can see over here, since this is a code, you can see over here something is written over here. Now I'm going to change into markdown. Now see how the things will change over here. If I change markdown now, this is a simple HTML. So you can write HTML code over here. You can write that, you can create a table, all those stuff you can do over here. In fact, if you are familiar with the latex, where you can write a mathematical equation, so all those things supported when you are going to select cell as markdown cell, right guys? So this is something like this. Now we are here to learn the Python code. So let me change over here code. So let's say x is a variable name, and I want to assign 5 over here. So I will write like this: x is equal to 5. Now the idea here is how to execute this line. So in order to execute this, there are 3 different options, guys. So please note over here. So option number 1, once you write over here, you make sure that cell is selected. and whatever cell is selected, and just click over here, this run. So this is a method number one. Second method, you can use control plus enter. Control and enter key press simultaneously. Third option is you can press control plus shift. Okay, so what is the difference? First of all, running through this, let me show with the example. I'm using the first step. Let me, this is selected. I have make sure that it is selected because the cursor is blinking over this cell. Now I'm going to click over run. So you can see over here that computer has learned that X has been assigned with the value 5. You can think of internally inside a computer, this type of map has been created. Internally, that is not visible to us. Within a one memory location that is within the inside of a computer, X is now start pointing to this. So computer has learned that a value of X is going to be a 5. Okay, so this is one option. Second option, so you can see over here when you click this option run, so this cell has been executed and the cursor will move to the new cell automatically. So guys, here also from current cell that you want to execute, when you press control plus shift, shift means new cell. So this cell will get executed and control will transfer to new cell over here. But in case of control plus enter, the cell will get executed and control will remains over here. For example, I will show this difference over here. Now I am going to use control plus enter option over here. So let's say y, another variable, and I'm saying, let's say I am assigning the string hello. Okay, guys. So now what I am trying to say is, please assign the value hello to variable y. Now I'm going to use control plus enter. See the difference over here. Control plus enter, and you can see over here 1, 2. Control plus enter means what? The current cell has been executed, and the cursor will remain same over, at the same cell over here. So see the difference is clear to all of you, I think. Run means run and control plus shift. It will run the code and cursor will move to the new cell. Run the code and cursor will move to the new cell. This is one thing. Second thing, if you are going to run with this control plus enter, cursor will remain, the running the code will happen, and control will remain in the same cell. So this is something that as an introductory level, you should aware about all those things, how to run all those things. And later on, when we move further, slowly, you just try to explore something at your own. And at the same time, we feel something is not clear to you, you can ask to us also. There are a lot of things to learn. So as a beginner level, I suggest you just learn at least these things, how to run the code, how to write the code. Now I am going to take you to a very important concept that is called data types. So let me take you towards my slide. So data type is very important concept in any programming language, guys. So let me take you towards data types. So guys, just a minute. I think Aditi, my slide is clear, visible?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. So before this data type, one thing I want to clear over here. First of all, the first statement is saying Python. In Python, everything is an object. So right now, this statement might not be clear to you. Just have a patience. Within the next 10 minutes, things will be clear to you. So maybe when you talk about any number, a string means group of characters. Just for example, my name DP Sharma. So this is, you can say collection of characters. Sometimes you can say a string. Booleans. In fact, when you write up any Python statement, that code itself also considered as an object. I will show you what this means by object. So object, you think in this way, just like container for the data. So when you are going to keep something inside the container, obviously you will, that name that container, and obviously you will remember what is stored inside that container. So all those steps are there. So in fact, if you see in the third line, you can see over here, number, string, and booleans are single value. What do you know a single value? Just have a patience. With the next 2-3 minutes, it will be clear. And tuple, list, set, dictionary, all called as a multiple values containers. So what is the difference between these two? It will be clear in coming next 2-3 slides. So let me take you to the next slide. Just a minute. So guys, you can see over here, I told you, yes, everything is an object. That means that object going to have a name, its type, and its ID. So guys, what I will do, I am going to use this function in the code within the next few minutes, and the things will be clear. Why I'm talking about type or data type, why I'm talking about name, why I'm talking about IDs, all those things will be clear. And one more thing, the type and ID will not change during the life of the object. Till the object is used within our program, you can't change its type, you can't change its ID. ID means address, unique address identification. So guys, all those things will be clear in a moment, in maybe in next few slides. So guys, let me take you towards data type. So let me take you towards data type. So Aditi, can you confirm my blackboard is clear,
Yes,
visible?
sir, it's visible. You can continue.
Okay. So guys, there's a term of data type. What is data type? So guys, this is nothing but, for example, consider a university system, and within a university system, there is an entity student. So when we talk about a student, always we talk about what is the name of the student. We always talk about what is the roll number of the student, what is the marks of the students, what is the address of the student. Okay, so when we talk about the name, generally we always our mind is set in that way from our childhood. Name is group of characters. Okay, our we are trained like this. Roll number means some integer value. Marks means, for example, name is basically, let's say I will consider my name. Let's say DP Sharma. So our mindset like this, group of characters. We never thought in that way. Name is 1, 2, 3. We never thought like this. Okay. In the same way, when we talk about roll number, our mindset is like this will be a number. When we think of marks, we can think like this 20 or maybe 20.5, something like this. Maybe integer number or maybe a fractional number, but it's a number. Address again a combination of that number and alphabets. So we used to say alphanumeric. When you let's say you are writing, let's say 68 or something like you are writing. So this is a combination of number and characters. So guys, now idea here is what is the relation all those with this example with this data type. So actually guys think in a philosophical way. Why we are doing programming? Because we want that manual system should be automated. And obviously, in manual system, our mindset is trained like this. When we think of name, we always think in terms of characters. When we think of roll number, we always think in terms of numbers. But computer is not trained like this. We have to tell to the computer, name is what exactly you can think of, what things will come to you. So everything you have to tell. That's why in order to that replicate for automatic conversion with the help of computer, we have to think of data types. So here basically there are 5 basic data types in Python. So I am using the word basic data types so that you can tell to the computer name is you think of string will come. Then roll number think of number will come. So there are 5 basic data types are here. First is integer, second is float, third is complex number, fourth is bool type, and fifth is string type. So guys, integer means you can think of, for example, this number, roll number is 12, 80, whatever number that is not having any fractional part, that is called integers. All those things will come in this type. Okay, so whenever you think of roll number of a student, you will always tell to the computer roll number always going to be integer type. So computer will understand next time whenever things come like integer, computer will think of it may be integer. In the same way, float 20.5 we have taken over in this example. So this will be like this. Complex number, just for the completion purpose, I am writing over here, but it is not used in machine learning. It is not used in machine learning. It is used in machine learning in a sense for highly scientific calculation purposes. So that we are not covering over here. Then bool type means boolean types, logical related things. So here answer will be true or false. True or false. This is bool over here, boolean. And now string. this my name DP Sharma. So guys, please make a note over here. True is a different. True and false means this is, for example, let's say when you're working on a multiple choice question, so answer may be a true or false. Let's say, so true or false is a state of mind, basically telling us that whether state is true or false. And here a string is a group of characters. There is no logical. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is the true. Here basically we are talking about the character, group of characters combined together forming a string. So things will be clear when we go to the code. So guys, I will take you to the code now. So let me take you to the code. So let me just rough all those things. Now let me take you towards the code. So this is the code. So guys, you can think of x is equal to 5. So x is storing the value 5, that is type of integer. Now we want to check. We want to check what is the type of x. So what we can do over here, guys, we can use the function type. Type, you are using function type, and here just you pass the value x. Now you will see the type of x is in computer is printing the output 4. You can see over here the type of x is integer. Okay. Now there is one more function that I told you. ID of x means at which memory location this x was stored. I told you now x equal to 5 means what? Inside the computer there will be one memory location where 5 is stored, and this address of this location is this big string, and x is pointing to this, guys. X is pointing to this. So this is, the integer object. Now I will going to take the string object example. So in this case, for example, we have taken the variable y. For example, if we are going to type of y, it will give string str. Okay. And if we are going to print this address of y for id by using function id, it will give the address, unique address. Okay. Now I am going to take the bool type. So for example, let's say you can again take let's say s1, and let's say any variable. And in fact, I want to tell you one more thing, friends, over here. If you are writing s1, once again I'm going to take you towards this equation. Here the variable will come. Here the value or expression will come. So variable name you have to take very much care. If you are going to write 1s, so as the rule suggested, as we discussed, the variable name should not start with digit. And this is something like that. I'm sure everyone has email ID and everyone has created maybe 2 months back, maybe 2 years back, 3 years back. Down the line, someone somewhere has created email ID. So username, it's an example of variable name also. Certain rules we have to follow in order to give the name. So in the same way, the rule in Python is what? The variable name should not start with digit. That's why S1 is okay, because here the variable name is starting with character. S1 is okay, but 1S is not okay. Okay. Now within this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign the value true over here. So true means basically I'm going to assign the bool value, bool type. So till now what I have covered integer type. This was the example of string type. Now I'm going to cover the type of bool. Now you can see over here, guys, what I will do, I am going to execute this. When I'm going to execute this, computer will remember S1 is now having the value true. Now let me check the type of S1. When we're going to check the type of S1, it will give bool type. Okay. Now guys, one more thing. Once again, let's say if I say S1 is equal to, now I'm saying true. Now guys, this true is different from this true. I want to emphasize this thing over here. You can see over here, this true is different from this true, because this true is logical thing, and this true is inside this. So its definition of a string is what? Group of character enclosed by the single quotes or maybe double quotes, group of characters. Group of characters, I'm talking about group of characters. Same impact, but so that's why this true is bool type because there is no quotes over here. But this true having a single quote or maybe a double quote, maybe a triple quotes also. You have to maintain the similarity. If this is starting with triple quote, then ending should be triple quote. We can't write like this, starting with triple quote and ending with single quote. Computer will give an error. I will show you right now. So guys, so here this was the logical. Now this is string type. You can see over here. If I execute once again type, now computer has changed the type. It's string now. So guys, one more thing. Those from C background, I want to tell one more thing over here. Consider once again the same equation left hand side and right hand side. In case of C or Java programming, as a programmer, we have to tell first the left hand side variable type. Variable type decide the type of right hand side. But in case of Python, the things are different. At runtime means when you are executing your program, what is the type of right hand side? What is the type of right hand side will decide the type of left hand side. Okay, so that's why you can see over here. Here, when we have taken this true, so this was bool type. Because of this bool type at right hand side, S1 also assigned with the type bool. But here in this case, since this was a string type, string str type, that's why this right hand side value, since it was a str type, this also deciding factor for this type also. So guys, please make a difference over here. Need not to be confused. This is order of execution is different when you compare Python with C or Java. Obviously, in case of Python and R, the execution is same. So that's why in the same program, you can have S1 is storing the value bool type also, S1 is also storing the value str type also. But in case of C, it is not like this. So till now, I have covered 3 types over here: integer, str, bool, and apart from this, I have used function type in order to identify which type of the variable was, and ID means what was the address. So I have covered over here. Now I'm going to take the example of float variable.
Sir, just give me a minute. Before moving forward, just please let me know that how you are switching over to the next line in here because one of the participant have question.
Next line.
Yes.
See, if you are executing control plus shift, let's say your cursor on this line is blinking will happen, something like that, black color you can see over here. When you are pressing control plus shift with reference to this cell, it will execute this cell, this step number 1, and after executing, automatically new cell will get created automatically.
Okay.
And if you are using control plus enter, then in that case you have to go to this cell here, and then there you can do the things.
Okay, so Abhisheka, your doubt is cleared now. Can you please write yes in the chat box? Okay, great. So, sir, one of the participant have doubt that how you are using this ID function in here. Can you please repeat it once?
See, guys, once again, let's say I'm just taking a simple example, x equal to 3. So this is a programming statement, but internally how the map has been created by the computer, and computer has created this map for its own purpose, not for us. So internally, you think of there is a one housing location, maybe one location. That location address something like this. For example, 1919 something was one big is address. This is address something like our home address only. So every location has some unique address, right? So what we are saying essentially over here, x the value store in this address is 3, and x is pointing to this. So when we saying id of x, means this get printed.
Okay, okay. So it's just the address of the variable which we are
Yes,
storing
yes,
in the system.
yes, yes,
Fine. So Harshavardhan, now you are able to clear? Great, great. Okay, sir, you can continue. No more
yes,
doubts left. Yeah.
yes. Now I'm going to create the float variable. And before that float variable, one more thing that I missed, so I am going to cover this also. Let's say you want to comment over here, so just comment hash you type, and let's say creating. I am writing creating the float variable. So those comments basically to help us only. Let's say we are writing a one line of code, two line of code, maybe thousands line of code. If we are writing with the code, so what will happen next time when we go through our function, our code, obviously we're going to automatically know for what purpose we have written the code. This is one thing. And code, whatever we write with the hash, starting with hash, this is a code. This will not get executed. So whatever way, random way, if you want to write, you can write like this. Nothing will happen. Computer will not say anything, will not mind it. Okay. So this code is for just we want to try, we want to actually explain the code, right? So now I'm going to hit enter. Now let's see. I am just writing f1, any random variable. F1 is equal to 4.5, for example. So essentially, what I'm trying to say, f1 is going to show the value 4.5. Since this value having a decimal point, so this value is different from integer value. Integer value is the value without having any decimal point, but here we are using decimal point. This is called float value. If we are going to use type function over here, f1, for example, it will give float. In the same way, if we are going to use id f1, it will different. Okay, guys. So every object, as in the slide I was I already covered, the three things. If something is object, what is the name of the object? In this case, f1 is the name of the object. What is the value of the object? 4.5 is the value of the object. What is the type of object? Float. What is the address? So all those things over here, right? Now, one more thing is remains, that is complex. So just for the completion purpose, I am writing complex. Let's say C anything. Let's say complex. Let's say C any variable name. And generally, guys, what I suggest you, variable name always assign with some meaning. So the next time whenever you come back to your program, automatically just name itself start giving some sense. If this variable is for what purpose you have taken, what is doing in the program. So let's say I'm writing 3 plus 4j, for example. So this is a complex number. When you are going to print this, printing would happen like this. Okay, this is for everything. For example, S1 we have used, we can write like this, S1 here. So the last value was true. So guys, this is all about basic data types. So any query till now?
People, you can ask the question. Whatever you have, you can write in the chat box. If you have, just say yes and write the question. And if no, you can just say no, and then sir will continue the session. Please
In
write in
fact,
the chat box.
Aditi, what I can say now, we
Yeah.
can take some questions
Yes. Okay.
because for the first introductory session,
Mm-hmm.
this is good enough because I
Okay.
guess some of the people has not installed this Anaconda. So
Yes.
next
Yes.
session, we will be covering data structures.
Okay.
In data structure is nothing but advanced data types.
Okay.
How we can create, how can play around with this data structures. All things will be in the next agenda.
Mm-hmm.
So since it's an introductory session, so
Okay.
at least we mute some of the participants and we can answer those queries.
Okay, great. So let me see what are the questions we have in here. First of all, so for most of the participants, control plus enter and control plus shift is not working. So what can be the reason?
Not happen.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not possible.
Okay, okay. In Jupyter Notebook, these two are the shortcut keys.
Yes, or maybe run. They can use run control plus. Maybe some issue with this operating system, their operating system.
Okay. So Guys, if you wanna unmute yourself and if you wanna talk to the sir regarding your doubts, you can raise hand and I'll allow you to unmute yourself. Okay, Gani, you can. Okay, Avishika is also have doubt. So just give me a minute. Yes, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you able to hear me?
Yes.
Hello, sir, and hello, Aditi. It's very wonderful that you guys are conducting such course, and it's very helpful. I am from Germany. I'm just very curious, and I saw about the Tech 24, and I thought to take. I'm very beginner,
Okay.
but this course is really, I mean, DP Sharma sir is really gliding very smoothly, and means I can really getting very informative on the course. However, the means since we are new, we really cannot know what to ask even.
Okay.
But so I have a PyCharm. I asked already because I tried to learn through YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But since I didn't get any answer from you, so I did the Anaconda. I hope it
Okay.
will not mix up with anything, or should I have?
Aditi,
Yeah.
can I take this question?
Yes, yes, sure, sir.
See, what happened? There are lot of IDEs where you will write your Python code. Lot of IDEs
Okay.
are available in the market. Okay. So for example, in case of PyCharm, as a beginner, you can write the program, but the problem over there is what? When you try to write for example, that some machine learning algorithms, when you start playing around with the data, you're going to require some third-party libraries. So that manually you have to install in PyCharm. So as a beginner level, you are going to face a lot of difficulties because first installing the third-party libraries is a big issue. And once you resolve that, then learning those libraries again a big issue. Okay. So learning obviously is required everywhere, whether you are going to use PyCharm or Anaconda. But the good thing is what Anaconda people, what they have done it, whatever library is required, 99% libraries already pre-installed, and they have bundled it and they are giving to us. So no need to worry about that whether this library will work for me or not. This is the case with lot of the other third party that ID also, maybe PyCharm, maybe Atom, maybe Sublime. Lot of things are there. So that's why I suggest as a beginner always go for Anaconda, right?
Thank you very much, and you are really awesome.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Avishika, one more thing that as you are a beginner, so everything is clear from your end, right? Whatever we
Yes,
discussed till now.
absolutely, absolutely. So far, so good.
Okay, great, great. Thank you. You can mute yourself now. So there is one question like, is it okay for me to just run button or instead control plus enter? So what these people can use, either run or control plus enter, or both are the same thing in here.
It's their choice,
Okay.
their requirement. So the impact will be same. Only the thing is, in one case, the control will run the current cell and will transfer to the new cell. In another case, control will remain there, the current cell, and obviously the execution will happen in both the.
Okay. And Harsha Vardhan is asking that shift plus enter we can also use. Is it?
Yes, yes, yes. Shift plus enter. In fact, I asked them just they explore on its own and try to execute 2 or 3 commands, and they can all visualize the difference also. Shift means shifting will happen, new cell will create. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay. Okay.
Control plus enter, no shift. But in case of control plus shift, sorry, shift plus enter, shifting is happening. So that's why new cell will be created.
Done, sir. Done, sir. So, Harsha, can you please write yes in the chat option if your doubt is cleared? Okay, great. So now one more participant wants to unmute Jay Lakshmi. You can unmute yourself and say, discuss with us, sir, that whatever doubt you have.
Shift. I could that control plus shift. I thought it was control plus shift. It is not working, so that's why I made a query. But if it is shift plus control, then sorry, shift plus enter, then I think it is fine.
Okay, okay. So you can, switch over to multiple options.
No, okay. Control plus shift. It didn't work for me, so that's why I asked the question. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, yeah, you can mute now. One more participant here wants to ask question. So yeah, Gyani, you can unmute yourself, right?
Yeah, hello, sir. Yeah, good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Yeah, good evening, Aditi also. So, my name is Hemant Kyani. So, it's very nice to talk with you. So, sir, I have some questions. Number one, sir, multiple lines comments. How can we create it?
Multiple line of comments. Again, with the same hash command.
Multiple times hash command.
Yes.
So there is no option that in the C slash star and the ending with a star slash.
See, I can write. My screen is visible to you.
Yes.
So just a minute. This code file is visible to you.
No, only
No,
photo.
sir.
Okay. Stop sharing.
Yes.
Just a minute. I will screen share. Just a minute. Now it's visible.
Yes,
sir.
visible. No, again not visible.
Just a minute. Now it's visible, right?
No.
So you need to share again.
Not visible.
No.
No.
Just a minute. Now it's visible.
No. Yes.
Yes.
Now it's starting. Yes, now it's visible.
Visible. But when I try to share this screen, now it's visible.
Yes.
Okay, good. So now let me minimize this. Yes. So can you right now? Can you see that cursor is blinking?
Yes.
So one option I can give it to you right now. For example, let's say this is current for code purposes. If I convert into Markdown, here you can write multiple line of code. For example, randomly I'm writing anything.
Enter. Yes.
Whatever you can write. So this is
Yes.
when I execute this, and in fact, this is some syntax, new line, some HTML code has to be written over here.
But this is not a comment, right?
It's okay. Comment
I am
basically.
I am asking you how can we include a multiple lines comment?
No, I understand. For example, this is one line comment. Okay.
Yes.
Again, you have to write like this only.
Yeah. No. Okay. So there is no option for like in the C slash star. Multiple lines comment.
No, not like. And again, it's depend upon the C. Once again, I'm telling you, it's depending upon the editor, in which editor you are working.
Okay, understand. And second question is, you are using the ID function for the finding out the address of.
And one more thing is possible here. What you can do over here, in fact, is that facility is there. What you can do, for example, this is a multiple line, right?
Yeah.
So you want to comment these, just select. Just a minute. Just selection. Can you see?
Yes.
And then control. Just press control key, and above the control there is one slash line.
Slash line. Control slash.
Control. Plus this slash above the control key only.
Forward slash.
Yes, forward slash with shift. Shift. We need not to use shift. I'm just saying the location of this. Above control and beside shift, right?
Plus
you have to use this. Comment and comment both. Comment and comment both.
Okay, understand. But first we have to select, na?
Yes. And once again, let's say you want to uncomment once again. Same select again. And control, same thing.
Okay, understand. Now second question is
yes.
Okay, no issue. And second question is, you are using ID function for finding out the address of some variable.
Yes.
Now in a C, we have an option to change the address or change the location of our variable, right? So is it possible in Python so that we can change the memory address of some previous variable? Like suppose in this example, X is located in some variable. X is located in some memory location. Now, if I want to update the address of X, can we do this?
Yes, automatically. Yeah, automatically computer that Python environment will do for you. Automatically is doing. For example,
yes.
Let's say X is equal to 5.
Yeah.
You print ID of X, some number will come.
Okay, no.
X equal to 2. Now you print ID of X.
Not. I'm asking not this one. I'm asking the updation or modification of address. not the value. You are changing the value, it's automatically valued by changed, then automatically the address will be changed. I'm asking you that in a C program, we have a two function, call by reference and call by add value. So in a call by reference, if we given the permission to update the value at the given location, then we can modify the updates.
Sir, you are talking about call by reference, call by value. That is
Yes.
somehow related with pointer concept.
Yeah, pointer
Python,
concept. Yes.
Yes, and Python does not have pointer concept directly.
Okay.
Indirectly, they have inbuilt it, and that is not given to the user.
Okay. So these are not visible to users.
And not only this, there is C is a static type check language, and this is dynamic type language, right?
Okay.
So, for example, in case of C programming, let's say you want to very sure that 5 is going to store inside X. First, you have to declare the type of X.
Understand. Yes.
And later on in the same program, if you want to write X equal to hello.
No, it's not possible.
Not possible in case of C.
C, yes.
But in Python it's possible because at runtime the things are decided.
Right.
Whatever right-hand side value, that will decide. That's why it's a dynamic type check. Second
thing, if I want to store some values in a registers of CPU, can we do this in the Python code? How can we do this?
Sir, Python is a high level language and C is a middle level language.
Yes.
When you talk about register level things, that is, that you are talking about system level programming. This Python is not meant for that.
No. Actually, in the C, there are 4 storage classes. One is a register. So if we store some value.
No concept here. No concept
of register values.
Yes. No.
Okay,
Python is object is different.
Okay. So these all variables are located in the random access memory only. RAM.
Yes, RAM.
Okay. That's why it's slow. That's why it is slow.
Yes. And one more thing.
Yes.
One more thing. See, slow, that is a different issue. See, slow means what? I can tell you. Ultimately, this is a computer hardware.
Yes.
That is ultimately working for us. This is giving the output. Maybe printing something. When you talk about C is much nearer to this hardware because it's a middle level language.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just giving low. Everyone can understand. I understand a lot of people are of this level, initial beginner, and this Python is at this level, high level.
Yes.
So obviously, it will take more time to convert that step by step process. I don't want to deep dive in the steps how things are going over there, right? Yes.
Okay, now one request from my side. So please accept this. So whatever you are going to teach us, so please record it, and all the PPTs should be shared with all the participants for their enhancement of the learning, and also recording sessions should also be shared with all the participants. Aditi,
yes.
Please. This is my request from my side.
Yes,
right?
yes. Your request is our command, no worries. The session will be fully recorded. It's in recorded mode only, and I will share the recorded sessions with all of you via mail. You will receive a link to access the session.
Yes.
Is it okay?
And PPT also.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
If Dr. DP Sharma has no objection.
Yeah. I will communicate with him regarding the same, and we'll figure it out something best for all of you.
Yes.